Hello, I'm just getting set up now. So hang on a quick minute while I get started. All right. So good afternoon. Happy Friday. I am here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. I'm U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I come on here around lunchtime, Mondays to Fridays to answer your questions, but also to bring topics that I believe will interest you. So today I have a good one, and it's your VAWA was approved. Congratulations. Now what, right? Because there are multiple stages of the VAWA process. And I want to talk about those, what to expect throughout the process as you move through the VAWA process. So, VAWA, just to give you the basics, if you have been joining me for a long time, and I see some of my friends here, you already know what it is. VAWA is Violence Against Women's Act, even though it's not just for women, but it is there is a provision in the law that allows individuals who are being mistreated, all individuals, no matter your gender, no matter what marriage you're in, no matter what, if you're in a parent-child relationship or you're in a marriage to a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, and that legal permanent resident or citizen is mistreating you, you could possibly qualify for relief, VAWA relief, as in you're able to get your work permit, you're able to get your travel document, you're able to get your green card. So, if you're being mistreated by a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident spouse, a parent, or a citizen son or daughter who's age 21 and up, you can qualify for this. Mistreatment, it covers all sorts of different types of mistreatment. Remember, abuse, mistreatment, it comes in different forms. It's not just about physical violence, but it also includes things like verbal and emotional abuse, even financial abuse. So if this person has never laid a hand on you, but they have been manipulative, they have been putting you down, calling you names, if they've been threatening to send you home, to get you deported, threatening to call the police on you, those are forms of and extreme cruelty and could qualify you for this type of relief as long as you can show that the person that's doing the mistreatment is your spouse, your citizen or resident spouse, your citizen or resident parent, if you're under the age of 21, under the age of 25 in some cases, or your US citizen, son or daughter who's age 21 and up is mistreating you. Even if they mistreated you when they were younger than 21, but now they're 21, you can apply for this. So once we get started, once we confirm our clients qualify, we file for them. We file everything together. Sometimes we have to file them separately, but we do apply for the VAWA petition, the work permit, the travel document, and the adjustment of status application in most cases. There are a few where we have to do it in different steps. But once we file it, it's still, even though we file everything together, it's still going to happen in stages. So the first is that you're going to go through the VAWA process where they're going to evaluate what you went through to determine whether you can get the VAWA status. If you do get the VAWA status, it means that you will be placed in deferred action. You'll be automatically issued a work permit. So we have sometimes even received a work permit before we've even received the approval notice for the VAWA status. Because in the petition, it does say that if you do get approved, all being well, you're approved for the VAWA, that they should issue a work permit automatically. So you will be issued a work permit, and you'll be given an approval notice stating that you have been approved for VAWA. And that's great because it just means now that you get this 2-year work permit. And then on top of that, you're going to automatically be moved on to the permanent resident process if you filed for permanent residence at the beginning of the process. In some cases, you may have to wait to file adjustment of status, but you are placed in a special type of status protected from any immigration enforcement and given the work permit while you wait for the time to apply for adjustment of status. VAWA ultimately does lead to permanent residence. So in the case where we do apply for your everything at the beginning, then once it's approved, then they start to process your application for the work permit. Depending on whether they have questions or not, if there are additional requirements, they will send a notice either stating that they're waiving the interview and issuing the green card. Now, during the Trump administration, they required interviews. Now, to speed up processing times, they are waiving the interview. So an officer reviews everything, and if they don't have any questions, it's a solid application. They do determine you qualify for the green card. They are now issuing that in the mail. But if they do have questions, then they schedule the interview. And at the interview is usually where they just go through the application, make sure everything is good, approve you for permanent residence, or ask you for additional information if additional information is needed. So once you've been approved for VAWA, you could look to get the green card. The process takes about 2.5 years. It's taking about 2 years now to get the approval for VAWA, but they have now designated a new service center in addition to the Vermont Service Center that processed all VAWAs. Now they have another service center that's now focused on VAWA. So that means that we could be seeing faster processing times. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that's the case. The processing times can go from 2 years to much less than that. And then after that, you'd be able to get your green card shortly thereafter. So just keep in mind that while VAWA does give you the ability to stay in a protected status, and this is renewable, you do have to wait. Once you get VAWA, it doesn't mean you've gotten your green card. You do have to go through the final phase to get the green card. Now, at the green card interview, they're not going to ask you about the mistreatment anymore. They're not supposed to, because that has already been decided when they approved the VAWA. But now when they're issuing the green card, or they're reviewing your adjustment of status application to determine whether they're going to send the green card, what they are looking for is, do you qualify in every other way? Remember, they're going to look at your admissibility. They're going to look at, your background, your criminal history, to see if there's anything that disqualifies. They're going to look at your past immigration history to see if there's anything there that's of concern. And so that's the purpose of the interview, is if they do have, they do address those questions at the interview. But if they don't and everything is cut and dry, then they could very well just waive that interview and send you the green card in the mail. Now, with VAWA, you don't get a 2-year green card, you get a 10-year. So that means that once you are approved for the green card, you don't have to worry about renewing it for another 10 years. And you could just look forward to applying for citizenship afterwards. If you were married to a U.S. citizen spouse who mistreated you and you applied for VAWA on that basis, then you could apply for citizenship in 3 years, getting the permanent residence. And actually, you can apply at 2 years and 9 months for citizenship after getting the green card. In any other case, it's going to be a 5-year wait to get your citizenship. But in the meantime, you do get that 10-year green card. You don't get a temporary green card, you get the 10-year green card. All right. So I've said my piece now. I'm going to go ahead to go to questions. Put those questions in the comments. So I see you there. You said you need my help. If you need my help, go ahead, go to the link in the profile, and that there you will see everything you need to get in touch, schedule the appointment, and I'll be more to advise you and then assist you, represent you, should you qualify. So the first thing you need to do is go to the link, and then we can definitely assist you. Go to the link, schedule your own appointment, or call the number. When you call the number, the scheduling coordinator will be more than happy to help you. All right. So a DACA recipient marry a green card holder, green card immediate. So um, no, the green card will not come immediately. If you marry a green card holder, you do have to still go through a petition process. Now, marrying a green card holder compared to marrying a citizen can be different depending on the circumstances surrounding your entry into the United States. And you do have to be in current status to get adjustment of status to a green card holder spouse. Otherwise, you're looking at applying through the I-601A waiver. That doesn't allow you to stay here for the whole time, but it does allow you to stay in the US for a majority of the process and then go ahead and when it's time for the interview, you'd attend the interview at the embassy abroad if the waiver is approved. So if you are a DACA recipient, you have questions, go ahead, schedule the appointment, and we can talk about it. Go ahead. Now, I am on YouTube, Facebook, and now I'm on Twitch. So I am streaming live on all of those at the same time, and I'm keeping an eye on the comments. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions as they come in. I agree, Ricky. I think this is a good topic. Hi there. It's nice to see you as usual. All right, put those questions in the comments. So Ricky says citizenship is better. Definitely in some cases, yes. Now keep in mind that if you are married to a permanent resident and you are in current status right here, you're visiting, for example, you're visiting on your visitor's visa, you do have the ability to adjust status through your permanent resident spouse as long as you qualify in every other way. You can always schedule the consultation so we can talk about it. But in that respect, when you are here with status, then it's not better than being with a citizen. But if you're out of status here and you have to, I mean, in some cases, there's no choice, right? You can't you're married to. If you're married to a permanent resident, then you need to solve it that way, the way that it needs to be resolved under that circumstance. But when you're married to a U.S. citizen, then that you do get the ability to adjust status here without even without status, as long as you can show legal ensure that you are paroled into the United States or at least inspected. Good day. When you need US ID for travel purposes throughout the US, is it this May or 2024? So keep in mind that this is based on the Real ID law. And to travel with the driver's license, to travel with a driver's license, you need to have a specially designated driver's license. But remember that tourists come into the country every day that need to travel across the country. And they will not have a driver's license. They're not going to have this ID. They're going to have their passports. So even though they are going to have special requirements to travel with the US ID, doesn't mean everybody has to have a driver's license to travel. It just means that if you're going to travel with that driver's license, say the driver's license is the only form of ID you have, you need to make sure that you have that symbol on the driver's license to be compliant with the Real ID law. Now, I believe they extended it. I think it's to 2025, but I would have to check that and get back to you on it. But keep in mind that it's not saying that you have to have this driver's license to be able to travel around the world, the United States. What it is saying, though, is if you're going to use that form of ID to travel, it needs to be a special ID. And then, of course, you still have to comply. So it doesn't mean if you're going to travel with a passport, you have to make sure you comply with all the requirements regarding the passport. But if they required every single person to travel within the United States with an ID, a US ID, then people wouldn't be able to move freely, especially tourists that are coming in, that maybe the tourists, they have to visit family in New York and then they have to fly down to Miami to visit other family, or maybe they want to fly to Orlando to go to Disney. That would drastically affect tourism for individuals and immigrants who are coming here to visit and trying to move around. So keep in mind that it's not saying that you need to all have this US ID. If I file VAWA and adjustment of status together, do I get my work permit and travel permit before prima facie? Not necessarily. So I am seeing, in some cases, I'm seeing the prima facie come before the. Now, keep in mind that the work permit and the travel document, they go along with the adjustment of status. So they're not necessarily looking and saying, okay, the prima facie is issued, now issue the work permit. In most cases, I've seen the prima facie come first, then the rest of it comes later. But it's not to say that that won't happen either, that you could be that person that gets the work permit and the travel permit before the prima facie, especially if they speed up processing times on the work permit, and not and maybe the VAWA is lagging. Great questions so far. Put those questions in the comments so I can answer your questions. I am do that. Now, while I wait for your questions, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get in touch with me so I can help you. If you go to the link in the profile on Instagram, or if you go into the description of the video on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch, you will see the link. Click on the link, and it's going to take you to a website with different buttons. You can schedule your own appointment. You can go to the website if you want to go to the website first. On the website, you'll see the phone number, you'll see the contact form, and you'll contact online chat form in case you want to talk to a staff member during hours. The phone lines are 24/7. So that means that even if our dedicated staff are out of office, if you need to call to at least get started with us, you can do that by calling the number at any time. If you're thinking about getting help 3 in the morning, call 3 in the morning, and they will be able to at least take your information to pass it on to the scheduling coordinator. So we make sure that we are available 24/7 to at least get your information so we can get back to you on the next business day, which would be, so if it's on a Saturday at 3 a.m., then you'll hear from us on Monday, and we'll be more than happy to get you started and on my schedule, so I can help you. I can evaluate your matter and get started with you as soon as I determine you qualify. All right, so I see you on here. Hi there. So getting a co-sign to support you, how much does this person have to make? So I usually consult the 864P form. So I wouldn't be able to, because when you're evaluating how much you need to make, the individual, especially when you're dealing with a co-sponsor, you need to know how much your co-sponsor makes, what's their household size, what state are they in. And those three pieces of information is going to then help you to find on the chart, the I-864P chart. It's going to show you where you need to, how much you need to be making. The household size is going to be, usually you're going to be included in the household size, along with the co-sponsors, dependents, and their spouse if they have a spouse. So it's all dependent on those factors. But the first place you can go to is if you go to USCIS website, uscis.gov, and then you go to forms, you scroll down to I-864P form, and it will give you everything you need to know there on that form. When I reach America, how long will I wait on my social security number? So if you're talking about getting here and you get your permanent residence, or you have a work visa that you're coming in with, it's going to depend. If you already requested it be sent, it could come within 2 to 3 weeks after your arrival. But if you did not indicate that you want it automatically sent, you may have to go to the Social Security Administration, so the office, and go ahead and apply for it there, based on your new status, the status that you have. Great questions. Put those questions in the comments. I'm here to answer. So put those questions in the comments. All right, so I'm scrolling through and just looking for more questions. If you don't have questions, I'm going to go ahead and head out. I'll be back on Monday to talk about a topic, and then also answer any general questions you may have. Now, remember, the information that I'm giving today is not personalized legal advice, it's general information. It's always, always best to make sure that you get personalized legal advice and representation. And that's where the consultation is very important. All you need to do is go to the link in the profile, and the link in the profile will give you all the information you need to get in touch with me. On all the videos that I release, they're always there's always information there about how to get in touch with me, usually the phone number. So how much money will you have to pay for social security number? So you don't have to pay anything. Does the cosign, um, any random person, do they have to know about your relationship? So with the, of course, there has to be some sort of connection. It can't just be anybody. However, it can be a friend, it can be a family member, it can be an acquaintance. So it doesn't have to be someone in the household. It doesn't have to be someone who is related to you by blood. It could be someone who's also unrelated to you. So when check case status online, it keeps saying on November 22nd, 2022, we received your case and waived the filing fee for I-360, I-485, and the 7, I'm thinking that's the work permit, because I'm able to pay I'm unable to pay the fee waiver and nothing else. Is that normal? So yeah, so if they waived your fees, yes. If they waived your fees, it's usually they do specify that they've accepted your case and now it's in process. So while I can't say for you, I have seen that where when we're applying for fee waivers for our clients, it will state that in the status update. So it's not anything that's going to be alarming. This is not an alarming type of case status. Great questions. Keep putting those questions in the comments. I'm here to answer. Other than that, I release videos on a regular basis on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, giving you great information that I think is of interest. But if you want to start, ask follow-up questions, if you want to know something that maybe you're not seeing in the videos, now is the time to ask questions.